Hello, world. My name is Matt, and I am making this video um, just to kind of elaborate and open up on how I've gotten where I am today, and also is to kind of have some sort of proof if I were to go missing, arrested for some bogus crimes, or end up dead. So, let's just say we'll start with this truth movement. Um, I recall back in 2015, my grandmother was like all about when Trump announced. She was like, I remember having this phone call where she was really encouraging me to, you know, join and enjoy what he was all representing in saving America. And at the time, I was unsure of him. I did not really like Hillary Clinton. I knew of uh, her history with people ended up missing and dead, and like Clinton Cash, I think that came out 2016, like when the election was, and that night was glorious. When I remember that morning was depressing. It was like a 90% chance that she was going to win, and then just slowly it unraveled overnight, and he won, and it was just like the most amazing comeback in the history of elections. And so been on board since day one. Um, let's see here. We'll go to 2017 when Q started. Uh, Pretty much been following that since the get go as well. I discovered it through on YouTube. I want to say it was went back when Jordan Sather had his little whiteboard. Um, I started, following it then. I was like, wow, this is some amazing stuff. And then on this website abovetopsecret.com, that was where I would get like my updates, and I would put my like watch, because I was like a super lurker, still am to this day really, and I need to work on that. But uh, it was this thread Dashin created, and it was just well organized, the way that we could accumulate and assimilate information in that thread, and basically, started following them, and I didn't really go to 4chan back then, and never really did the 8chan, 8kun stuff. From what I heard, it was the underbelly of the internet. And then when I finally did muster up the courage to go there, I saw why, and yeah, some pretty disgusting things. And so I rarely went there unless somebody had a link to go to it, and I would like follow up, but I'd read like the post that it was linking to, and then I'd get out of it. Um, so yeah, and then let's see. So I was following that through 2018, 2019, and then 2020 happened. COVID happened, and in February I had gone back to Georgia, state of Georgia, here in the U.S., and to help my mother with finding a house. She was house hunting, and this was like in February, early to mid-February. And I went down there and I saw my doctor. I went out in Alpharetta, saw my doctor, and when I was getting my prescriptions, I bumped into this guy named Patrick. I'm just gonna leave Patrick for now. And we just kind of struck up a conversation. He was complaining about somebody saying he wasn't wearing his mask or something like that because he was coughing. And struck up a conversation outside of a Kroger, and we exchanged numbers. And he called me later on, and I went to go hang out with one of my ex-girlfriends. And from there, I went and he contacted me, and I invited him over to this hotel room that I had rented. I believe that's what happened. It was a few years back, so I'm trying to recall. He came over, and he had, from what I remember, he had some kind of weird tablet thing that was just like, it blew my mind. It like he knew everything about me. He knew all kind of things that I wouldn't expect anyone to know, let alone a complete stranger. And it was during this time we were indulging in certain uh, a certain, let's just say I was intoxicated, and he presented to me what he told me was cocaine. Little did I know, because it did not numb my nose when I did it. For those who've done that, know that that has that kind of reaction. Not proud of it. It happened though, and I've got to tell the truth, nothing but the truth. So please help me, God. So I indulged in that. Didn't really think much of it, and basically, he was talking to me about how my brain, something about my brain was going to be very important, and he was talking all these extravagant things, and I didn't know what he was like leading on to. And so, let's see, basically we got together, uh, and it seemed like he was trying to recruit me. Now let me back up. The Satanists have tried to recruit me before, because I'm blind in this eye. I don't know if you can tell, but yes, that pupil's a little off center. I was born with a cataract, a congenital cataract, back in November of '86, and this Satanist tried to recruit me early in mid 2017. Me and my ex ended up, we were like out on the street living in her car, basically in her Jeep, and I sent out this like SOS sort of message on Craigslist, which is like the underbelly of the advertisement world. How ironic, but and I just put my weird little touch on it. I just have a weird way of talking sometimes, and I got the next morning. This guy reached out to me, and he presented himself. I assumed he was gay. He sounded like it on the phone, and he was talking about how his apartment, like he wanted us to come see his place, and it was like as clean as a Ritz Carlton. We get there, when we show up, he has like a different personality. He's like this gangster thug when we meet him, and I'm like, is this the same guy? And his name was Christopher. And he lo and behold, he told me he had like 7 different personalities, and basically he was saved from the woods from this what his adopted mother and father, they ran some sort of, I don't know, I don't know the words to describe it, but basically it was like they recruited people, and they were trying to recruit us, and they had cameras everywhere in their apartment. And this is before like all the Epstein stuff came out, and like I didn't even know, who he was and all that, and how prevalent human trafficking was in the world. And so he had these like cameras, and he had like a hidden microphone. He wanted us to take his bedroom. He would sleep out. It was a 1 bedroom apartment. He would want us to. He was going to sleep out on the couch, and he did. And it was just very bizarre. And he revealed that he was a Satanist. He had this stripper pole that was broken in his living room. That on the base of it, he pulled back this like comforter mattress thing that was like, to cover it, and he had a pentagram on it. And that kind of freaked me out, and I was just like, whoa, this is not liking this. But I had nowhere else to go, so I just dealt with it and just was like, okay, well, whatever. So as time goes on, we were only there for a little bit, he started talking about sacrificing his dog on the summer solstice or something like that, and that really freaked me and my girlfriend out. We thought he was kind of joking, but I don't think he was. And I remember him trying to take me to the club the night we met him, and he said something about meeting people with pig masks and lizard faces and stuff like that, and it was a really disturbing comment. And I was like, I didn't really think much of it at the time, and I wish I had. But anyways, I remember one night we were smoking weed, and he wanted me to sit on the pentagram thing, and he put on this Beyonce DVD, and I remember smoking it. I was like, all right, whatever. He kept on trying to get me to sit more in the center of it. And I was like, dude, it felt uncomfortable. And I remember watching it, and I remember seeing like Beyonce's face and all the people who would come on the screen, their face, and like meet their eyes and like lock eyes. And I felt like they were spirits, and they were like coming into my mind. And I started to feel like I was losing control of my own thought process at that time. Wasn't like insane, but I just felt like I was not in full control of my thoughts. And so I was like, dude, I can't do this anymore. And so I stopped smoking, got and just went in the bedroom. And I think I went to sleep, and I think it really upset him. But hey, that's neither here nor there. But fast forward, my girlfriend gets in an argument with him over the dog, and how he left her in a cage, and like just wasn't he wasn't a good owner to her. And so